Hey guys, it's Kate, and today I'm going to tell you the story of the time I fell down a waterfall. My story is not all that dramatic. I didn't take a nosedive over Niagara, although that would be a really exciting story to tell. Rather, I fell 5 or so feet down the Buatong Sticky Falls in Chiang Mai. So my story takes place last summer when I was volunteering in Thailand. We had heard about these waterfalls that were made out of limestone and these weird sticky minerals. To be honest, I'm not sure what they were made out of, but your feet stick to them and you can hike up them. So on one of my last days there, me and the other volunteers decided that we would go check them out. We hailed a taxi, drove about 30 minutes away, and there they were in all their glory. And to be honest, I think we were all expecting something a little bit more daunting. So when we saw these, we were like, oh yeah, we got this. And I started falling a little bit behind because I was being extra careful with my footing. And then when I looked up and realized that my friends were quite a ways ahead of me, I started going faster and paying less attention. And then before I knew it, my left foot hit a huge patch of moss and I completely lost my footing. Then and there, I was like, wow, this is it. This is how I go. But my survival instincts kicked in and I grabbed the rope in front of me and caught myself. After that, I was a little bit more careful heading up, but I got to the top, and even though my hip was slightly bruised and my ego was very bruised, I was alive. And I realized I really hadn't fallen that far. But at that point, I was ready to go home. So me and all the other volunteers walked back to the taxi, but before we got back on, we realized that my friend's shoes, which had been attached to my backpack, were missing. I put 2 and 2 together and quickly realized that in my falling process, I had also lost her shoes. But after 30 minutes of searching and no luck, my friend just told me, hey, you know what, they're just shoes. Let's just get back, I can buy new ones. I felt terrible and like a complete idiot, but in the last minute, luckily some super nice Ukrainian tourists found them and we were able to get home alive, slightly bruised, but with all of our shoes. And that's the story. Now you're probably wondering why on earth I would share this story, because I over-dramatize everything and it really wasn't that intense. But the reason that I tell this story is because I learned a couple lessons from falling down a waterfall. The first being that even if it's scary, risks are always worth it. So we went and I realized, hey, the worst thing that could happen is I could fall. And then I did. But that was the worst thing that could happen. And I walked away from it fine, and it's one of my favorite memories from that entire summer. So the risk was worth it. The second lesson that I learned is that shoes are just shoes. When I lost my friend's Chacos, it literally felt like the end of the world. I felt so terrible, but the whole time she literally did not care. She was happy that I was safe, and she was like, I can buy some new ones. They're just shoes. And I think that sometimes when we get so caught up in the present and in things that are happening, we focus so much on the shoes and we worry so much about the shoes. But in the end, as long as we make it out alive and happy and safe, the shoes are just shoes. The little details don't mean a thing. The final lesson that I learned is that you can learn lessons from everything. As I racked my brain for a super exciting, life-changing experience to share with you guys for this speech, I felt a little bit sad that I didn't have anything that great to share. In my 20 years of life, I really haven't experienced anything life-altering. But then I realized that you can learn lessons from literally everything. Every moment means something, and as we go through life, we can look back on all the small experiences that we had and realize how much we've learned from them and how much we've grown, even if it's just slipping a couple feet down some sticky falls. Thanks for watching, guys.